Hey, it's Rich, Tennessee Homestead. How the heck are you? How much do you believe mainstream media and government? That's the question, and we're going to try to get you an answer for it right away. Let's start off with currently the CIA and the State Department came out with an announcement that the Russians were getting ready to do a red flag operation. They were going to create a video that showed them under attack. Okay, so I get a kick out of it because this fella Ned Price from the State Department, former CIA guy. Yeah. Well, they don't wander far from home, do they? But anyway, they pretty much was talking about this thing, and he said that it was a videotape and blah 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 blah, and people needed to expect it. It was going to happen. There was another reporter there from New York Times. Let's see what this guy's name was. A fellow by the name of Matt Lee. And he had the audacity to ask this Lee fellow, where's the evidence? He said, I just gave it to you. He said, no, you made an accusation. You didn't present any evidence with your accusation. Where's your evidence? Well, it's just top secret stuff. We can't, put it out there really because it could reveal our sources or techniques. Well, I did get a kick out of the Matt Lee. The reporter said, you guys are sounding a little like one of Alex Jones's conspiracy theories, or QAnons. But anyway, let's get down to it. Do you trust the government? Voter fraud, there's one from 2020. Was the election hosed up in any of these states? Well, Pennsylvania just got a court ruling handed down that the vote by mail, that this Act 77 or some nonsense like that, or Act 7, pushed through for the 2020 election violates, which they were told was going to happen, violated Pennsylvania's, their constitution. So now it's going to the Supreme Court. Because, reading the act that it said it violated is pretty clear. There's no such thing as mail-in voting other than absentee ballots with an excuse. Well, and the one thing that the judge that handed down the initial ruling said was, hey, you got enough people there that you claim is backing this. Why didn't you get an amendment put forward and have it voted on and change the Constitution? Because what you did is in direct violation of the Pennsylvania Constitution. Sounds like a bit of a voting problem to me. And could be why a lot of these states are looking at their laws and making sure that they are in full compliance with their state constitutions and so forth. So anyway, it looks like the Pennsylvania law, if the Supreme Court upholds that judge's decision, and the judge was basically asking, why did you not? And that was a question even through the legislature during pushing this thing through, of we need to amend the Constitution to do this. Yeah. So who knows? Anyway, trust the government. Let's see here. Oh, let's take a look at that. Bay of Tonkin in Vietnam. Yeah. Trust us. We were fired upon. Guess what? You lied. Nobody attacked your ships in the Bay of Tonkin. Confirmed by the U.S. Navy. False flag. Somebody wanted to start a war. Yeah. So that was the excuse they used. Iraq, we all remember that one. Weapons of mass destruction. Yeah, the UK's intelligence, Our intelligence, oh yeah. They got all these weapons of mass destruction over there. Well, we knew about their chemical weapons because, Lord knows, we sold it to them. We knew exactly what they had and how much of it, other than what they used on their own people. Yeah. No weapons of mass destruction. There was no nuclear weapons over there or any of that. Here again, trust us, we're lying to you. That's pretty much when the government says, trust us. Yeah, that's what they're saying. Trust us, we're lying to you. How about Benghazi? That poor ambassador and all them people got killed because of crazy YouTube video. How long did they play that one? Trust us. That's what happened. Assad, in Syria. Well, that turned into a three-ring circus, didn't it? He gassed his own people. Yeah, trust us. That didn't happen either. Oh, let's see. Oh, yeah, we got the latest one. The withdrawal from Afghanistan was perfect. Oh, we're doing it well. Trust us. That was the biggest three-ring circus I've seen in years since the withdrawal of Saigon. Let's see. Oh, yeah, don't go back to Afghanistan. That drone strike that wiped out that terrorist. Bunch of kids that he was passing out water. Worked for the government. Trust us. We screwed up and nobody's going to be held accountable. That's our government. Told the Russians, we're not going to move NATO eastward if you guys give autonomy to those border countries. Trust us. Yeah, we're lying because we're going to do it anyway. Then we wonder why they're having a problem with it. I covered that in the other video. This one I'm going to talk to you about something really serious. You know, for years now I've been telling the American public you need to get very active, get very involved, and stand up. And let's bring this government under control. See, we've been stomping around since World War II playing the big guns. We're the big guys. If you don't agree with us, look what happened to, Gaddafi over in Libya. Took him right out, didn't we? We do that all over the place. Yeah, we've done it over in Africa. We've done it in South America. We've killed people and changed out their governments and yada, yada, yada. Matter of fact, that's kind of what the problem was in the Ukraine is we pushed through a coup. Yeah, trust us. Now we're gearing up for war with Russia. Of course, we think we're going to make them back down. Yeah. Russia just kind of stand alone and, they know we can take them. So what I'm here to talk to you about today, I'll bring this little dude up. I want to talk to you today about a document that was signed on the 4th. It's called the Joint Statement of the Russian Federation and the People's Republic of China on International Relations, Entering a New Era in the Global Sustainability Development. It is a pact now between Russia and Red China. Guess what one of the topics are? NATO. Yeah, that they're basically saying, we side with the Russians on it. Get those weapons and those troops out of those countries. You made an agreement, United States. Live by it. I can't tell you this any clearer than one simple term. If any fool out here in the United States thinks we're going to take on Red China and Russia at the same time and win, I don't know what you're smoking, but please mail me some. We're done if those two countries land on us. There's a lot in this thing, and I'm going to leave a link to it. It's a fairly lengthy document. But you really need to read this thing in detail, and some of it you get to read between the lines a little bit. They're talking about these countries who think they're the big kid on the block, and they have been causing a lot of problems, and they need to get told to shut up and sit down. How do you make a big boy a bully on a schoolyard shut up and sit down? You're going to beat the hell out of me. These guys have signed the pact, and like I said in that earlier video, if they think for 30 seconds Taiwan isn't going to disappear into the sunset, if any of this breaks loose, they jointly agree that, that's part of China and it needs to come back into China. They believe in the one China policy. They've signed on to it. So if you're going to deal with China over the taking Taiwan back, you're going to deal with Russia. We can't handle the war in the Southeast Asia and a war in Europe. Europeans aren't going to deal with it either. I got to tell you that now. And you're going to have one of these small countries that could possibly set off a tactical nuclear weapon. And when those ballistic missiles start flying around, there may not be any of us left. And why is this all going on? One of the things that I got out of it is certain states attempt to impose their own democratic standards on other countries, even utilizing force. Darn, who's that sound like? Libya, you don't agree with us? Boom. Iraq, you don't agree with us? Boom. Syria, you don't agree with us? Boom. We've been doing it all over the world for decades. And about half of them we go boom to, you don't even hear about. Fact, folks. Okay? Trust me. No, actually, you can go out and find the facts on this. These politicians are not going to change. War is good for them. They make a lot of money. The military-industrial complex makes a lot of money. And they share it with the politicians. All these tactical weapons that we have sitting around in Europe, who do you think paid for those? NATO? You don't even pay to maintain their own crap over there. Those are U.S. paid for out of your pocket equipment. Out of your pocket. And if we don't pay attention, we are going to be selling those to come up with cash. Because here's the one thing that this agreement also pushes for. To take the currency of choice for international trade and make it each country's individual currency, the U.S. dollar, no longer to be used as a central currency for trade. What do you think is going to happen to us? Your cotton-picking $100 bills are going to be, well, it'll save you some money because you won't be able to afford the toilet paper because your $100 bill might buy your roll. Most economists says our economy would collapse in a matter of about 7 days. You wouldn't be able to buy gas. You wouldn't be able to have electric on in your house. You know, people for a lot of years have been telling you prep. Get ready. It's coming. Yeah, congratulations. The document was signed on February 4th. That could lead to our dollar, our fiat dollar, losing its position as the currency for international trade. They know right where to hit us, kids. Wake up, smell the coffee. So what can we do about this? Well, we need to stand. We have an election coming up this year. There ought to be a lot of town hall meetings. Matter of fact, you ought to form up town hall meetings and notify the people that are running. If you want us to have any, if you want to vote, you better show up because you got some questions to answer, Junior. Throw them out of office. Well, that would mean that if you're voting out a Democrat, you'd have to vote for a Republican. No, vote a Libertarian. What can a Libertarian do? Nothing. Not really. Doesn't have big political power, but he does have one thing going for him. He doesn't believe in spending your money. So he's always like a Ron Paul. He just votes no on any spending bills. Say, you ain't got any money. You ain't got no money to spend. If you're a Republican, you don't want to vote for a Democrat, vote Libertarian. That way you don't have to put a Democrat in office. Matter of fact, getting rid of this two-party system would probably be the best thing in the world for this country. But you're going to have to make some serious change. We need to get really involved, America, because if we don't get really involved soon, we could virtually see the end of this nation. We think we're the big kids on the block. We are not. Australia, the BBC over there and so forth, have done some pretty good documentaries on whether or not we could keep Red China even at bay with our full military. It's coin toss. They've got a big deep water navy now, supersonic missiles, which they've been given to the North Koreans. Isn't that funny? Yeah. So you got to figure North Korea's got quite a bit of muscle there too. Yeah. A lot of manpower. May not have a lot of technology, but they got a lot of manpower, a lot of equipment. And they are at the beck and call of the Red Chinese military. Red Chinese military, I think I'd read somewhere where they have five to six trained soldiers for every man, woman, and child in the United States. Think on that one for just a minute. Do you think we're going to beat them in a land war? No chance. You have Russia into Europe and them into us, because Europe will fold like a house of cards. Yeah, they really will. Russia had stomped through Europe like it was nothing but a bunch of tall weeds. It's time to change this country. It is time to quit trying to diplomacy by bullying. And that is really what our country does. And by bribery. And don't worry about it, Europe. We'll make the American taxpayer pay for your defense. You know, they don't mind. But now they're talking about the dollar. Good Lord have mercy. Can you imagine? You'd be riding horses, folks. Yeah, if you can afford one. And you can't find an economist out there. If you sit down and have a 2-minute conversation with them about how long do we last if we lose the dollar as the global currency. Better wake up, America. We are now facing a partnership that has decided that we are a pain in the butt. And it's time to make change. That's what this agreement's about. The UN pretty much already agrees with them. There's been a lot of UN regulations written to try to keep us in check, and we ignore them. It's up to us You know, I years back used to correspond with Russian families. Something my kids' school started. The kids had lost interest in it immediately, but the parents did a lot of talking. Here's what I learned through all that. One, we are an aggressive nation. We try to force our will off on a lot of people and do it by force. So, being an aggressive nation and so forth, the Russian people have a very large distrust for our government, mainly because we're liars. Our government is. But the Russian people like Americans, the people they think are good. And I kept getting asked the same questions. Why don't you people stand up to your government? The Russians are a different breed of cat. You know, they got real stringent laws over there and so forth, but the bulk of the Russian people don't see their government as being that bad. Much better than what the Soviet Union was. We need to wake up. If we don't like the government the way it is now, we have two choices. Turn it into what our founding fathers said. A nation that was not a warring nation. We use trade to be friends with all nations. Pretty simple idea. We'll fight like the Dickens to defend our boundaries. Don't be a warring nation. Quit trying to shove our beliefs off on the rest of the world, because guess what? Most of the rest of the world does not agree. A lot of Europe does, but the rest of the world don't really agree. So why should we try to force stuff on them? We got enough work to take care of here at home. We can work with Red China and Russia on free trade. We're a big market. Well, unless we lose the dollar, then we're not going to be a market at all. We're going to be a little like Zimbabwe. You run out of time, America. Whistles blowed. The players are coming out on the field, and we're about to get thumped. And the only way that we're going to save this country from a good thumping, which is coming at us, is for us to stand up and tell our government, okay, we've let you run amok for too long. Now we bring you under control. And you will be held accountable to the people of America. And you are not going to use our name to go around and deceive the rest of the world any longer. I've got a perfect job for the 50,000 troops we have sitting in Europe. Spread them out on our southern border and say that's it. That way we don't have customs and the INS down there trying to patrol the border. Let them build the fence. Let them man the border. Let the customs people and INS round up the fools that we've let in over the years and tell them you're going home now. And oh yeah, I'm sure you had kids while you were here. Well, two options. Give your kids to a legal citizen that's part of your family, or take them home with you. Bet you out leaving. Yeah. One other thing to think about on these laws and so forth is the fact that in many states today, New York, California, Nevada, they will allow illegal aliens to register to vote in their local elections. There's just one voter registration that shows you're legal. You're a legal registered voter. You can vote in local elections. And then they're going to mail you a ballot for our federal elections. Illegal aliens have no right to vote here. And what the INS needs to do is go collect those voter registrations county by county and go down the list and pick those people up and escort them back out of the country. No more nonsense. No Democrats. You're not going to hold on to power by doing that. Enough of the lying. Enough of the nonsense. America, you're running out of time. This agreement between China and Russia, yeah, that was pretty much the shot across our bow. As American people, we better fix this. I know this went a little long. Y'all have a great day, and we'll talk to you real soon.